Oh man. All right, man. We're gonna start off with some news. We got 2 for 1 in regards of what's going on in China. The first news story is China to ban kids from playing online games for more than 3 hours per week. Kids and teens under 18 years old in China will only be allowed up to 3 hours per week to play online video games, according to new rules published Monday by China National Press Publication Administration. The move is a fresh blow to the country's gaming industry giants Tencent and NetEase, which have dealt with an onslaught of regulation this year in areas from anti-monopoly to data protection. According to the translated notice from the new rules, people under 18 will be allowed to play video games 1 hour between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., weekends, and legal holidays. The agency built the rules as a way to safeguard children's physical and mental health. There are over 110 minors that play video games in China today. We expect the new limits to lead to a decline in the number of players and a reduction in the amount of time and money spent in games by those under 18. For a long time, Beijing has been worried about gaming addiction amongst the country's youth. Gaming consoles were banned for around 14 years until 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I was following that story. I thought that was rather interesting. They're saying, though, that the country is getting dumb also. I don't know if it's stated it in that article, but
it didn't go into that.
The country is getting dumber. Basically, they're dealing with those same things. The he males and the kids wanting to play video games. So because they're like a communist country, they're like, fuck that shit. You all will not be like Americans. You will not spend all this time playing these video games. We need y'all to get back into the science, technology, engineering, and math, and how we're going to do it. So I was looking at this story, right, and I said, well, how the hell are they really going to do that? But the companies have to build platforms. So the platforms that they built, they do facial recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I don't want to live in China. They do facial recognition to where the game is registered, and some of the online platforms that they have, they're all registered to a particular individual. So even if Black Zeus wanted to hook his son up and have his son play past the hours that he could, he can't do it because the facial recognition won't allow him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I thought that still part of the story was more like intriguing to me.
Yeah, the technology aspect of how they could command such censorship or reducing such online playing. Yeah,
I think it's bad for the kids. Like I'm too full with it, but you're telling me like you get an hour on Saturday and an hour on Sunday to play a video game. I played video games when I was younger.
They weren't like this, dude.
No, they weren't like
when
that.
we played games. We played games like Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, this, that, and the other. You know, I've been paying attention to the difference. So, for instance, with these video games, you can easily
Grand Theft Auto though.
Okay, so you can easily get on a platform because it's free, right? Whether you do it on your phone or you do it on your Switch or whatever case is, you can play Fortnite, you can play Minecraft, you can play Roblox, so forth and so on, right? So easy access, number one. When we were growing up, you had to buy the system, you had to buy the game, you had to hook it up to the TV, and the TV, you know, if it was in your household, you were limited to how much time you could be on that TV because people want to use the TV for other things other than you playing your video games.
You had Game Boys.
Very few people had Game Boys, but even Game Boy had a battery life, and that was like, it was a literal battery. It wasn't a plug up and recharge. Remember, you had to actually put like, I think,
AA, like
double A batteries in there.
Four.
Yeah.
So you still had
the first one. It was
there.
4, then they got down like 2.
Yeah. So there was still a limit there. Secondly, when you play these games, right, they're based on incentives. All right, they're incentive based, where it's like, okay, if you do this, you can get that, or if you buy this, you can get that. So that incentive part makes it even more addictive. And then finally, because these games are online, you can't pause them. You can't pause them and say, all right, I'm gonna pause this game, go do the dishes, do what I got to do.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
To the addictiveness. I've been paying attention to all of this with my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so because of that, I've already set those limits of you got this many hours. No, you have to give me your devices at a certain point in time of the day. You know what I mean? Like we've already instituted those parental locks. You know, because
that's my argument right there, Black Zeus. I think that it should be more of a parental thing.
It should be, but the whole thing is parents. Here's the thing: when you got parents that aren't understanding, being a parent is a 24-hour full-time job where you got to pay attention to these little details, like I just mentioned to you. You know what I mean? Like you're just thinking, oh, it's just a game. What's the big deal? This, that, and the other. You know, it keeps them busy. X, Y, and Z. Like, nah, man, you got to think about what development that is going to happen to that kid's brain. No wonder they have short attention spans. No wonder that they. You see what I'm saying? Like
I'm talking to you, so it's going to miss the mark. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I get that part, and I also understand that the parent introduces that. You know, it's a reason that my daughter doesn't eat candy till this day. She'll be 13 in November because it wasn't introduced to her. And then when it was, she had it in her head that I don't eat that, so she won't eat it. You know what I mean? Like that's so the parent introduced this gaming at some point to their child by bringing it into the household. So I still put a part on the parent. And it's not that, when I go to Black Zeus' house, you know, I get to play with Black Zeus and he has a game, so why don't I have one at my house? You know, there were so many of my friends who had games before I had a gaming system. You know what I mean? So I get that.
Yeah, but that's like saying you're never going to give your kid ice cream because ice cream is nothing but sugar. It's a matter of, you know, control and understanding when. You know, so for instance, you know, going back to the game thing, I'm not going to tell my kid he can't have a game and have some fun and have a distraction, this, that, and the other. But I can limit it and be responsible with it. Just like as an adult, I drink alcohol and I am responsible with it. I put limits on it. I don't go and sit there and become a complete, you know, alcoholic and get smashed every day. So the same thing is with the games. Parents got to take that responsibility because their kids don't have that ability yet.
And that's what I'm saying. But in China, it's not a parental thing. It's a state thing. It's the country. Like the country is saying, this is what we're doing. We're going to be your parent. You understand?
I understand.
I don't agree with that part. Like that would be like America saying, okay, if America tried to do that, what would happen over here?
All hell will break loose.
Catch-22.
Hey, think about it. Let me say this. Think about it. We're still fighting over a fucking cloth mask. So if they try to implement something like that in America, you know, like Cass said, all hell would break loose.
Yeah.
But again, that's a parental thing. Not like you're saying the whole government is just doing. I still don't agree that the government could just say, this is what we're doing. Even though you pay for this shit, Black Zeus, you can't use it when you want to. I don't agree with that shit.
I don't agree with it either. At the same time, I kind of understand because the reality is, just in my personal opinion, I think 3 out of 10 parents are the only ones. So I think only 3 out of 10 parents actually are really mentally active parents, not just going through the motions of like.
I agree.
I want to have kids.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Most parents are like. You know, when you ask most parents, right, when they have kids, it's one of two ways they have them. Either, you know, they have them because, I want to have 2 kids. I would start 2 kids or 3 kids would be cute, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. People don't plan for kids and say, all right, economically, how many kids can we support? What kind of future do we want to have for these kids? What kind of environment do we want to put them in? If they are mentally have mental issues, a physical issue, can we support that child? You know, because these things are reality nowadays with the number of kids that have ADHD or ADD or all other types of mental disorders because we're having kids much later in age now than we were back in the 1980s, 1970s, so forth and so on. So the whole thing is a lot of parents don't do this very consciously. So you're not going to be a conscious parent that's going to put in the time, put in the work, and put in the thought process to say, I'm going to be deliberate and intentional about every move I make with this kid. Then fuck it. You know, the country's going to do it for you. I'm not completely mad at China.
Nah, I still don't agree with it. I'm not mad at China, but I still that's a step in a a step in a dictatorship country type style. I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Like I know how China is. So I'm not mad in that respect because I know how they, like
how they rock, yeah.
You know what I mean? The little frustrations. Like they know when they start seeing something, they're like, fuck that, we're shutting it down for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, is it any different here? I mean, when you look at it, when you really think about it, you're talking about a culture that's gonna tell me that I can't call my wife because somebody else doesn't identify as male or female or this, that, and the other, a choice that I didn't make for them. They made that choice for themselves, but yet you want to make a choice for me and whether or not I can say my wife is my wife.
Yeah, and that's more depressing because, again, this is something that I didn't buy that. Those are words. But this is something that I brought, and you're telling me, I mean, I could see if the government gave everybody a PlayStation and then say you only can use it during these hours. But this is something that I purchased with my hard-earned money, and you're going to dictate to me when I can use my devices, which is,
Okay, you bought your car with your hard-earned money. Can you drive it wherever and however you want?
I can.
Can you?
I can. Yes, I can. Yes,
so I can drive on. So you can drive on the left side of the road.
I can.
You can run a red light.
I can.
Without any penalty, I should say.
Oh, okay, I'm about to say you're
a dick.
Ask the question. Because I can do it.
Smith is a dick.
Don't get it twisted now. You know you can do these things. Will there possibly be a penalty? Possibly. If you get caught doing these things. But you got to remember, I live where they still take cars. I don't want to use a double negative and say they still, but where they still take your car and they will drive your shit on the wrong side of the street and they will run red lights and they will motherfucking do donuts in the middle of the street and get away with it. So you can, you know what I mean?
Right.
But again, that's something different. Again, I'm still saying if I purchase something and you're telling me when I can use what I purchased, that's, I don't know, that's still different to me. Like, the only time you can use this computer is when I tell you can use the computer, even though you own the computer in your house that you own, but you only can use it. And I think that's my thing. And like you said, I get it. I get the whole thing. It's China. Shit, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's China.
Well, and I guess let me just quickly, because I gotta do an upgrade real quick on our Zoom. It seems like I'm limited.
It's the same thing to me.
You want a 40-minute limit, right?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that because last time I did mine, I was able to talk for a long period of time with you guys, and now it's telling me it's 40-minute, duration, which is weird.
Wait, but do you pay for it?
I was gonna say, do you pay for it?
Nah, it's free.
This is 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
See,
but last time I was able to rock out with you guys on my shit for like 3 hours.
I was about to say, well, you want, because teachers get longer.
Well, mine ain't free.
Yeah, teachers get longer, and if it ain't free, you get longer. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is like 40 minutes. Mine is like 24 hours or something like that. But that's because I paid the $15 a month.
Well, I'm doing it now. Hopefully, it doesn't boot me out while
you doing it. Yeah.
While I'm doing it and shit. Now, but continue to talk. Is that all?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm not in disagreement with China because, like I said, for the same talking points that I just made, I have the same rules with my child with video games. I have the same rules. As a matter of fact, one of the rules he has is when he wakes up first thing in the morning, he has to set a timer. Even if it's the weekend, he got to set a timer. He can't touch a device for the first 90 minutes that he wakes up.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Because the whole thing is like, if his inkling or his first reaction is to pick up a device, he's not going to get up, brush his teeth, do his, make his bed, straighten up, have breakfast, unload the dishwasher, take out the trash. No, you're going to be productive in the first 90 minutes of your morning.
Do you let him bring it to the table?
Huh?
You don't let him bring a device to the table, right?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, let me share the second China story. So We touched on this months ago. I don't know if you guys remember this. Smith, you definitely would, because you took a chuckle in regards to the term that they referred to these to the effeminate men.
Little
But
fresh.
yeah. There we go. So this is from the Insider. China bans sissy and effeminate men under new macho media rules. Chinese President Xi Jinping called for a national rejuvenation on Thursday, partially centered around removing effeminate, in quotation, men around broadcast television. China's TV regulators said the broadcast must resolutely put an end to sissy men and other abnormal aesthetics, using term Najangpo, a slur for men roughly translating to girly guns. The restrictions are part of a broader institute. Yeah, the restrictions are part of a broader institutional power grab by Jinping government, as his administration also seeks a stronger cultural influence. Thursday's update also encouraged male celebrities to not wear makeup and appear more masculine, reportedly due to concerns of aesthetic of Korean, Japanese, and Chinese pop stars.
Yeah, I saw the part where they keep saying the pop stars keep making more their youth want to look and be like that. All these K-pop bands and stuff.
Yeah.
With the extra white faces.
Yeah.
Yo, China is crazy as hell.
Go ahead, Smith.
Crazy, but they straight with it. I mean, like, they can still use the term sissy.
Yeah.
As to refer, because we can't use the term sissy without being Dame hated and shunned. And I used to like that word, sissy. I know I'm thinking as I speak. But yo, girly guns, they want their men to be more macho men again.
Yeah, be more macho men, appear more masculine.
I'm trying to think, have I ever seen a Chinese dude that looks like a Schwarzenegger or Rambo or anything like that? Like, I don't ever think I've ever seen that. Now when I think about
it's only like one of them, and he be in the movies.
Like, the biggest Chinese or Asian guy I ever see was that one dude that used to be in he used to be the bad guy. He was in Bloodsport and in Bruce Lee's
Big dude,
Into the Dragon. Bo, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Like, that was the biggest Asian dude I ever seen. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know they made him like that.
Well, I was having this conversation with my wife maybe 2-3 days ago as I was deciphering which stories to pick, and I saw this one. She raised the same concern. She was like, when did Chinese men ever appear more masculine? And I was like, well, they might not be masculine from like a sense of being so like muscles popping all over the place, but like you could take someone like Bruce Lee, who was very stoic, and like being stoic is a characteristic of being masculine. Having like discipline, not necessarily be all up in your emotions. Now, I don't know what the Chinese men
right there. That's it right there. That's what I was about to go. It's the emotion part. They don't want the men to be in touch with their emotions.
Yeah, exactly. At all. Like, so I don't know what their pop star celebrities are like. I don't know anything about Chinese pop culture, but I know that, growing up in the 70s and 80s of the Chinese martial arts stars that were shown, they was very knowledgeable. They were very stoic. They were, not necessarily rattled all the time with emotions and stuff like that. There was always wisdom with them, and I guess that's what they want to portray about their men. It's I think those are masculine traits that they feel like is missing.
Okay.
But
they don't want their men to touch into their feminine side at all. That's what
and not look like it, man. Like,
they're trying to push men touch into your feminine side, and over there in China, they're like, hell no, don't touch your feminine side.
Yeah.
Be a man.
And don't even look like it. Even the way they dress, man, is like, and even the European men, we're starting to see that fashion in the United States. We have seen that fashion in the United States for the past several years now, where you got extremely tight clothes on. Yeah. Like what kind of shit is that? Like if you were to get in a fight, like you're not going to be successful because you got these tight ass pants on.
And the craziest part about that is, that audience can dictate fashion where you can't find anything that's loose fitting for yourself.
Yeah.
You really know where to go because now they think everybody want. I don't want my ass tight like
dude.
that.
I'm glad you said that, Smith, because I had the same problem for shopping for jeans recently. I was like, when did they start cutting these jeans so tight?
So it's not just jeans; it's jeans, athletic wear, everything. Like I went to go buy a pair of athletic
wear, yes.
And I normally wear a double XL, no problem. Adidas double XL. I go and get a pair of pants. I'm like, these look funny, you know. I go to put them on, they're like tights hugging around my calves. I'm like, oh no, we're not doing this. They secretly trying to convert you, like we're not doing. And the whole store is like this. They don't have another option.
Sweatpants, like you said, athletic wear, yes, same thing, and the same thing with the jeans. Cash, I'm like, yo, what? I can't. What, you serious?
Yeah.
Yo, in order to wear something, I normally wear a 2X. Now I got to get like a 4X for that shit to be semi-normal. But it's still everything tapers to the ankle and stuff. And
so
like,
I was to the age, fellas, where I didn't have to, my weight doesn't regulate between maybe 5 and 10 sometimes, right?
Mm.
I don't have to worry about anything. So I was at the weight where I know exactly the jeans. I can go get the jeans, boom, no problem. I gotta try everything. I gotta try on.
Yeah, yep. You gotta try.
I have lived life long enough where I didn't have to try things on anymore because it was, you know what I mean? I knew.
You knew you cut. You knew you fit. Yep. Same thing, bro.
That's one of the best things about being a man. It's like, yo, I know my waist is a 38. I know my inseam is a 42. Exactly. I'm in and out. Everybody knew this.
Yeah.
Everybody knew this. Now you gotta try everything because you don't know what they're trying to sneak up on you.
Yeah.
So now taking jeans like now the fabric isn't like hardcore jeans. They're like stretchy jeans.
Stretchy, yeah. Hey,
what the fuck?
I thought I was at 365 doing a hamstring workout. I wanted to put on some. I'm like, wait, my thighs are getting so big now. I'm like, man, these jeans, man. I can't.
Yo, for real, man. I'm with you guys, man. It's been years prior to what they've been doing, altering our clothes, where I didn't necessarily needed to go into the fitting room. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to go to no damn fitting room. I just know what it is. Now you're just like, you got to grab like 5 items with you just to go into the fitting room.
This is crazy.
And it's crazy because like I had to buy a pair of jeans, and I had to get the crotch. Like I had to get a waist that was like, I forget what the size was. But the waist was like 8 inches too big, you know, just so that the shit could fit around my legs right. Like I couldn't get the one that's right for my waist because around my legs it would be like, you know, look like the jeans got painted on or something. Like, yo, I'm not cool with that.
Not me either, because I bought a pair like that. I'm like, wait, dude, I gotta get a little bigger. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's terrible, man.
So
it's not right. It's not.
So
right.
I think that's what China's onto. There's like, yo, it's the whole culture. There's like, yo, enough is enough. I think this kind of goes on to what you guys were saying. Like, it's a very dicey situation. You gotta let people be, I guess. But look,
but they're not letting us be. They're giving us no options. But like this tight ass shit. At least back in the day, you used to have loose fit, relax, baggy. You know what I mean? Like you used to have options.
Yeah.
You wanted like
straight leg,
straight, whatever the case is.
Yeah. Slim. You had slim fit. You had a slim fit.
Yeah.
Not everything is slim fit. I don't like everything being slim fit.
Hell no, damn sure not my pants.
Stretchy. Like Black Zoo said, it's not even jean material. It's stretchy material.
Word up. I'm not even joking. Like you go in, if you grab the material and you pull it, you'll see it. It has a little stretch to it.
Yeah.
Why are my jeans stretching?
China seems to be making the right moves. Even though we have liberty issues, they seem to be making the right moves when it comes to gaming as well as their masculinity.
On
the right track. Hey,
you know what? I'm gonna tell because my son's supposed to be taking Mandarin this coming semester. I'm like, hey, dude, we both gonna be taking Mandarin because
Oh man! All right, this probably our last bit of news and stuff. This is I don't know if this is fair for us to even talk about this because some women might say, well, it's a bunch of guys talking about abortions, but fuck it, So
Fuck it. We get to have fuck that. Because you know what? Here's the thing that about that abortion thing that women would say, like, oh, guys, talk about, like, number one is the fact of you got pregnant by a guy. He doesn't get the option to say he doesn't want a kid. All right. That's not fair to me. Yeah. How's that fair? You get all the options. Like, if I say I don't want to have a kid, you're like, nope, I'm having a kid, and then take me to corporate child support for a kid I didn't want to have. Nah, homie, nah.
So, all right. So this is from NBC News. So the Supreme Court declined to block Texas restrictive abortion law, dealing a blow to Roe v. Wade. The law allows private citizens to enforce the ban through lawsuits against abortion providers or others who help women get the procedure. A divided Supreme Court late Wednesday declined to block a restrictive Texas law banning abortions after a fetal cardiac activity can be detected or as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy, and allowing anyone in the country to sue the abortion providers or others who help women get the procedure after that time frame. The vote was 5-4, with Chief Justice Roberts dissenting, with the three liberal justices Elena Kagan, Stephen Breyer, and Sonia Sotomayor.
Sotomayor.
Yes. Each wrote a separate opinion opposing the majority decision. The lack of action by the nation's highest court deals a blow to Roe v. Wade, the landmark 1973 Supreme Court ruling that legalized abortion nationally, essentially legalizing the law's language to incentivize private litigation to cripple abortion care support services. The law, known as Senate 8 bill, went into effect midnight Wednesday after the Supreme Court did not act to block it. Abortion right activists say that the measure is the most restrictive anti-abortion laws in years, with provisions that amount to a near total ban on abortion in the state. So obviously there's no women on this panel. So what do we think about Texas' new strict abortion measures and the Supreme Court not necessarily, having a say on it?
I'm gonna say exactly what it is. It's bullshit. All right. Number one is the fact of I'll be clear today. I am in 100% support of abortion, because there's some motherfuckers that don't need to be around. The crate challenge is example of that. All right. You see all these dumbass motherfuckers breaking their necks and that. These motherfuckers didn't need to be born. All right. But real talk, no, like, fuck that. Like, here's the thing. These conservative, religious, Bible thumping, fools up here that are so against the abortion are also the same ones that don't want to provide contraceptive to keep these chicks from getting pregnant. Birth control ain't the same thing. And they're the same ones that don't want to pay for social services to support the child and the family once the child is born. So fuck that. Hell yeah. Abortion should be 100% legal, and always kept around. Don't get me started. This subject really irritates the shit out of me.
Yeah, they were saying that they were saying even if it's a case of incest or rape, you wouldn't be allowed to get an abortion.
Yeah, like, that's just crazy.
I definitely don't agree with, because if I had my child growing up in Texas, my daughter growing up in Texas, and she was supposed to get into one of those situations, I wouldn't want her to bring a child into the world that she's going to hate. People say, how you know she's going to hate the child? Because of the circumstances that she...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, motherfucker, you don't have to...
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Anyway, see, I'm about to go off like Zeus.
It's like, I'm trying to tell you the subject gets
great. Wait, I was focused on Black Zeus. I had a train of thought.
You tapped into your emotions real quick.
Yeah, same here. That's why I just started jibber jabbering, because of like, this shit makes me mad.
Yeah, they were saying that, right now it's in Texas, and I know they'll try to put it other places and turn the whole Roe versus Wade on its head. But they were saying that these young ladies could go to other states and still get this done right now. That was the option. But we know that this affects the brown and black folks more so than it affects anybody else. That's why they put that in place. I would say that I would say that the people in Texas, especially the young ladies, even the young men, they need to just be a little more aware of what they're doing, how they're doing it, aware of their sexual encounters, because they don't want to put themselves in a situation where they won't be able to get rid of a child if they fucked up and said oops or had a lack of judgment. That's what I would say to the people in Texas right now. Is that shit unfair? Definitely unfair. To tell a female that she doesn't have the right, it's supposed to be what, my body, my choice, and now you take that away from a female. Yeah, I think that's very unfair. But again, if they're not going to do the contraceptive, people just got to be mindful of their sexual encounters. Like,
I was gonna chime in with that because I do agree. It should be pro-choice. But the thing that always bothered me with Roe v. Wade in 2021 now is when Roe v. Wade was first instituted as national law, there was only one form of birth control pill. Now there's over 12. So like my thing is with abortion, it's just like for me, I look at the abortion talking points and I'm just like, and it feels like a non-factor to me because I'm like, there's over 12 forms of birth control consumptions. Like you could
some of them are actually abortion pills.
But the thing is, but the morning after pill. But the thing is with this law is they're calling it the heartbeat law or as early as 6 weeks. Whereas like you take the morning after pill, there's no, a fetus is not being, formed in, in that matter. So that's why I'm like, I get it. I'm all for like, yo, look, it's that woman's body. If she feels like she's not in a financial space to take care of the child, I'm like Black Zeus. Like, you don't want kids who are uncared for out here because they become a menace to society. I'm with you. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
It's simple fucking logic.
Yeah, like I'm with you on that because if she's smart enough to realize like, yeah, I'm with that. But then I also look at, I'm like, this is not like Africa. I'm not trying to stereotype Africa or anything like that, or certain parts of Latin America with contraceptive. This is not a developing country where you don't have access to these form of contraceptives. And I'm just like, how is this still an issue for most people? Like, there's over 12 forms of birth control. I don't know. Like that's the part I bought.
And this is the problem with
counterpart. That's the sexual.
This is the problem, and this is why I get mad about the single motherhood in America. They want to put it on a man and say, well, the man this and the man that. The man has one option, a rubber. You've got 12 different pills.
More than 12, yeah.
You got the ring. You have the shot. You've got the female. Like, you've got more options. And if you're the one that's going to more likely be most vulnerable, and you're the one, shouldn't you be taking the most steps for your own fucking protection instead of
exactly
your dumbass gets pregnant, and then at that you blame the dude for being a deadbeat dad not being there when you knew this motherfucker wasn't going to be there in the first place?
I thought
this is some fuck buddy of yours. This wasn't your husband.
I thought he might be. That's why I'm still going to put the onus on the young ladies right now.
Yeah, well, that's still on the females, and I know. Listen, this is probably not PC to say, but it's women's fucking fault.
Yeah, and that's why, and that's the angle I took, Black Zeus, when I was reading this, because like again, my stance is pro-choice. Like, you could do whatever you want with your body; it's your body. But then I'm looking at it from that perspective, that lens. I'm like, but to me, I'm seeing women in America cry about this, and I'm like, yo, you're not like other nations, developing nations, where you don't have access to this. So, like, for me, Roe v. Wade, you got to look at the time that was passed. Like, not a lot of women had access to birth control, and now you got more than 12.
And a female pushback tells you that, yes, I have more than 12. And actually, one of my former students, she just was talking about birth control that she took. And the shit had her bleeding out in the fucking bathtub, almost dying. So, I think
so maybe use a different form.
Well, some females don't think that they want to use any of those forms because they don't want to, quote unquote, poison their body or pollute their body. So,
well, then don't go have unprotected sex, have babies, and then cry about the situation.
So the other part comes in. So the other part from the female comes in as per the male sometimes. I don't like the feel of a prophylactic. I like the feel of the raw. All right, I don't like anything in between us.
Oh yeah, I've heard females say that shit.
Wait. I'm going back to one of our previous books. I like the fluid bond.
Ethical slut. Shout out to Jane.
Fluid bond. So, and now you got that part of it, right? And then you got the third part where I want to get pregnant because I think that this dude is going to be the one for me to take care of my baby.
And if I get pregnant and have this baby, then he'll love me.
Yeah. And if I have this baby, he'll love me. So then you got the other part there too. All right. I'm going to put that part in there too.
Even all those parts, it's still a female's fault.
It's still, I definitely.
If she's not being raped, she's not being forcibly held down, it is her fault.
I definitely
must protect herself. I'm tired of this whole nonsense of quote victim blaming. It's called protection. You don't say. You don't go out in the rain and say the rain got me wet. No, your dumb ass didn't go out there with a raincoat or an umbrella. You got wet, not the rain got you wet.
Mm-hmm. You got you wet.
Yeah. So that's where I struggle with the Roe v. Wade, because I just feel like today, 2021, it feels like Roe v. Wade feels like a dated law in a sense of the multitude of birth controls that are out there. But nonetheless, I agree with you guys. Look, I'm all for pro-choice. Texas is Texas. Those southern states are just gonna fake pretend to be on a high moral ground until
the crazy thing to me is those are the same states that complain about the poverty rate. The same state that, and it's like you don't see the connection between unwanted, unplanned children and the poverty rate. You don't see the connection there.
Right? What about capping abortions?
Go deeper with that. Capping abortions.
Yeah. So
like you only allowed to have but so many.
We only allow you to have but so many.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing.
Shit, how many chicks that be having who be popping?
This is what I'm saying, because I know chicks that be having 5 and 7. Like, why are you having so many of that? Go back to the other thing that we just did. You're out here sleeping around, having sex with dudes.
You know a woman with 5 or 7 abortions?
Yes.
No.
Damn.
But guess what? After a certain amount, it's supposed to damage your body. See, people don't know that. After a certain amount of abortions, it fucks with your body, and then you can't have kids. That's the other part that people don't talk about. But yes, remember, I grew up in the hood. Yes.
I don't know anybody that got abortions like that. I'm not gonna lie. I do know a lot of chicks that had an abortion.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that had abortions, but not like that.
Not like that.
Yeah. Having a bunch of abortions.
Like most of the chicks I've known that had abortions, for them it was a very traumatic experience.
Yes.
And it made them, it made them watch their step.
Yeah.
And made them watch their step.
That's for sensible people. That's not for the person who's out here, I'm just out here going with Black Zeus because he got the weed for the night and I get pregnant and I don't love the nigga, so I'm getting rid of this one. But then I'm going with Cass the other night because he got the alcohol. I don't love this motherfucker, but I got pregnant by him, but I'm getting rid of that.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about caffeine. Here's the thing about caffeine, though. If that's the type of person they are, do you want them to have a child anyway?
I wouldn't.
Think about that. Like, if you cap it off, like, all right, that's number 3. The next one is on you. Is this really someone you want to have a child anyway? Like, period. Like, this is, if anything, this is a person that definitely needs to be, you need to be like, bitch, after your 3rd one, we snip your shit. No options. After your 3rd, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3.
My man is on some eugenics, sterilizing women shit. Yo, do you say that about men, bro, who go around having a bunch of kids like Future?
Well, same thing.
Damn, he talking about snipping dudes too.
Listen, here's the thing. Your life is your responsibility, all right? No matter what you do. You want to smoke, you want to drink, you want to get high, you want to catch AIDS, whatever, that only affects you. But children have no options in the situation.
No, you're absolutely right.
Whoever they're born to is who they're born to in the situation they're born into, and it's not right, it's not fair to do that to a child. You know what I mean? And the whole thing is, like we said, that child ends up becoming a product of the system, and they become a menace to society. And now you have prisons full of them.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. It's man, I don't know. Like those Bible state areas are very interesting to the point where, like you said, they feign righteousness at the most convenient times when
They pick and choose what they want to be righteous about.
Yeah.
They don't say, "Oh, we need to push more contraceptives. We need to push more birth control. We need to make more awareness about this and make it seem more pleasurable and a good idea and sensible and appeal it to our kids." No, we don't need to do that. We need to not talk about sex. We need to push abstinence. And when it doesn't work, we need to tell them you need to carry the baby. But we're not going to help you with any support, even though financially you can't take care of this child, mentally you can't take care of this child. We're not going to give you any support. But when that child is born and that child becomes a problem to society, we will blame you, the child, and your race for why you're a problem.
All right, well, one, they should probably put sex education back in the classes. Besides that, but besides that, contraceptions don't always work because you can still get pregnant with having a contraceptive. So
seatbelts don't always work in a car. Does that mean that you're just going to ride around without a seatbelt or airbag?
Well, 57% of women who use contraception became pregnant while they were using contraception. 57%.
I have a question though. Are they consistent with it? Because I have my niece. She claimed that she recently got pregnant. She claimed that she was on it, but then when I told my sister-in-law to interrogate her better, come to find out that she wasn't on schedule with it.
You're right. Like every morning popping that pill.
I don't know. The article doesn't speak to that.
Yeah.
But these are details that need to be known.
While you're on the pill and stuff, and that happens to people. They were like, "Well, I thought you said you was on the pill." I was on the pill, but I still got pregnant.
Yeah. So, no, we get that it's not 100% guaranteed, but
it's not 100%, but it's still a better line.
But again, this is why I should have the option because I didn't want to have a child. I tried to protect myself, doing all of the things that people tell me to do, and I still got pregnant. And I don't get between. I don't know. And yes, there are those flu cases. I just don't get between her 12 forms of birth controls and our one form of birth control. How is a kid ever? Because I've never had that slip up. You know, I've been fortunate. And me personally, it's like if you out here raw dogging chicks you don't know and shit, aren't you worried about an STD? People aren't worried about STDs when they're in the moment of that. Nope, not at all. It's crazy. Because
and I love when people tell me,
I've gone raw dog twice in my life. One is my wife, and one was a serious girlfriend for 4 years.
I think people worry about getting somebody pregnant more so than they worry about an STD.
I worry about both, bro.
No, because in general, I think worry about more of getting somebody pregnant
because I would
like all the one night stands. Come on now,
man. Like
there's so many STDs that you can get. Some you could have and not know you have.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like people don't be concerned about an STD. You hooking up with this chick on that first night and you let her put her mouth on you. You ain't worried about no STD.
But I'm worried about like the more severe. Like I'm worried about like the severe, HIV,
like one that you can't get rid of.
Yeah, like the ones that you can't get rid of. Yeah. Yeah, like that shit. I never forget. I was scared straight.
Somebody can kiss you, and you know what I mean.
But yeah, you get herpes. But I'm worried about like the chlamydia, the HIVs, because man, I never forget being scared straight. And I remember seeing a jacked up penis, like a penis that had gonorrhea, and it was bad, bro. And I was just like, I do not want my penis. It's like I never.
I remember those pictures back in sex ed at school.
Yeah, man. And I was just like, I never ever want to catch that shit.
Yeah, whatever that is, I don't want that.
So like for me, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I just don't understand the realm of how is this an issue in 2021 when you have all of this available to you. Thank you, Shu, for correcting me on my political correctness in a developed nation as America. I just don't understand.
Well, here's the thing. It's the same mentality as COVID. It's not going to happen to me. I'm special.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the thing. Everybody will think something won't happen to them for some reason. Like they play this Russian roulette when it comes to their health and their well-being.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's crazy to me. But mind you,
Yeah.
they don't play that Russian roulette when they go and buy items.
Yeah.
When they go and buy items, they don't play Russian roulette with that shit. Oh no, I need to have me the Samsung. I need to have me the red bottom shoes. I need to have me the Gucci. Top dollar for that shit. But when it comes to their health and their well-being, how much is this, Jim? $10 a month. Oh, I don't know about that.
How much for these 3-pack of condoms? $5. Man, I don't know about that.
Shit, I get a nickel bag a week for that $5.
Yeah, shit. I don't know, man. So that's that. It's interesting to see what other states adopt what they call the heartbeat law bill and stuff. You know what was interesting though is the most fascinating thing about that bill is the fact that anyone around the country could sue the abortion providers. Like, why is that even a thing? Like, why did he even sneak that in there? That just felt weird to me. That I in New Jersey, if I find out there's an abortion clinic somewhere, I could just issue a lawsuit. Like that, I don't know. That just felt.
If you found out somebody used that one, you could,
Yeah, that was just. I'm like, what are you doing, Texas? Like that just felt out of pocket.
Yeah.
They're like,
listen, you gotta remember, Texas is also one of the states where they want to waive things like the abortion laws. They also want to teach the Bible in schools. They want to question evolution. I mean, like there's so many things wrong with those southern states. It's not even funny.
But a lot of liberals are flocking to that state stuff. Texas has
taxes.
Yeah.
Only for the taxes. That's it.
Yeah.
That is the best part about being in those southern countries is the taxes. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the income tax.
Yeah. All right, fellas, let's get into the book, man. So this is week 2. Our man Rory Sutherland, Alchemy. We have some good questions in here. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with our very own Black Zeus. We're gonna start off with number 2, because again, my man loved to get at this Sha'Carri Richardson. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with number 2 because she recently ran a race and she finished 4th. Chapter 5 is about risk management and how it affects our decision making. Why are some people outstanding with risk management, like Warren Buffett or Jay-Z, and others are terrible about it, like Sha'Carri Richardson? Yeah, she lost a 200-meter race out in Brussels. She came in 4th.
Damn. She just keep losing.
You're on mute, Smith.
What did she run?
She ran the 200-meter.
No.
Her time?
Yeah, I wanted to know her time.
Yeah, come on, bro. I don't run track, so it's just like I just saw the results.
Like it was the 200, and she came in 4th.
She just came in 4th. Better than how she did in 100, but some people said the reason why she came in 4th is because the last 3. Yeah, the Jamaicans weren't running. Exactly.
So here's the thing. She still.
Otherwise, she would have came in 7th.
So hold up. So she came in last with the best, but she came in 4th with the mediocre. So what does that make her?
Man, and the last 3 girls.
Think about that.
Yeah, and the last 3 girls that came in, like the last 3 spots, they were all white girls. So people are clowning, just like, of course she came in 4th. She beat 3 white girls.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I hope she could turn it around for her sake, because with these sort of performances, I'm starting to learn more about track through her. I gotta give her credit, because last week, Smith, we were talking about Schubert had a great question about signaling, and Sha'Carri Richardson came up, and we were talking about essentially like she's bringing the spotlight to the sport. Like, even despite how you feel about her personally, you can't knock the fact that she's brought a lot of attention to the sport in the past couple of years, in which the sport hasn't really seen that much attention. Yeah,
And
so she
those
can't.
same
So,
girls
but
is
for
on
her
the
case, I hope
Inside
she
Fresh.
start winning soon because I know those contracts. You got to start performing. You got to at least start placing in the top 3 before those endorsements be like, yo, I don't know about you now.
Yeah, we're gonna go another route.
Yeah, we're gonna go another route. So it's just like, hopefully she can start doing that for her sake. But back to your question, why are some people outstanding with risk management like Warren Buffett or Jay-Z, and others are terrible about it like Sha'Carri Richardson?
So when I ask this question, because this whole entire chapter 5 was about risk management, making you don't necessarily have to make the best choice, but you have to make sure you don't make the worst choice.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think of really successful people such as Jay-Z and Warren Buffett, and the only reason I brought them up is because I remember most recently watching them, the two of them being interviewed together,
Yeah,
by I think it was Fortune 500 or Forbes magazine, one of the
Forbes.
two.
I
Yeah, it
remember.
was Forbes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whole thing is, I remember that interview and everything, and I'm just looking at, here's two dudes from completely two different spectrums of the world, two different in every single way, and they both kind of made it to the same place. And it goes to show you that it's your action and your mindset that can put you in a certain place. You know what I mean? Like, while on the other side, you'll have somebody like a Sha'Carri Richardson who has talent and who has an ability, but her mindset is going to keep her from excelling. It's going, her behavior, the way she reacts to losing an event, the way that she makes bad choices of smoking weed before having to participate in an Olympic event and so forth. It's like, how do you not see that you are your worst enemy? Like, how do you not have this capability to make risk assessment on decision making? So that way you can get the best outcome.
Well,
So that
no, my bad. You were done.
yeah, that's basically it done.
Now, I will say this. There's an old cliche, with age comes wisdom. I think we got to realize that Sha'Carri is 21. What was Jay-Z doing at 21? He was a knucklehead himself. And he talks about that.
Yeah, he was a knucklehead, but he was a knucklehead who was still very strategic in his business affairs.
He was strategic, but he was still a knucklehead in the sense that he was still engaging in illegal activities at that age, where he could have found himself locked up for life.
He could have, yeah. So if you ever read the biography of Jay, Empire State of Mind, he was the same businessman he was in corporate America, same businessman he was in the street. Like, he was really, he's really a smart dude, this, that, and the other. The whole thing is that when he was never really at risk until one day when somebody actually pulls a gun on him and tries to murk him. After that, he's like, oh no, fuck these streets. Let me go into this rap thing hard.
But
so he made this decision at a very young age based off of the fact of, like, the cards that were dealt.
But I'm pretty sure there was still some recklessness in all of that. Like he's not immune to any of that sort of lifestyle. At the age of 21, yeah, he ran.
He wasn't immune. He made a business decision with his partner who decided to rap for him so he don't go to jail because he was the rapper.
Yeah, exactly. So, but and Warren Buffett, I'm pretty sure Warren Buffett made a lot of reckless decisions early on in his career before he finally figures out. So I think, like someone with Sha'Carri Richardson, I think we got to understand that with age comes wisdom. I believe that they say that the front cortex of your brain is not fully developed until you hit your mid-20s, and this woman is not there yet. So, like, for me, I give her a pass because she's still growing into her being. Who she's still adulting. So I think when we're using these people as an example for this question, I think we got to take into consideration where are these people at their lives when they're making decisions.
But that's the thing where I will push back on that is because you have so many examples now. So why would you make those mistakes at this point? You know what I mean?
You're right.
Short of having somebody around you to keep saying, "Hey, man, you're going the wrong way. come back over here. Like, how do you know? You got all these examples of which way, like, at the end of the day, she knew that her response at the end of that shit was not deemed appropriate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. However, anybody's want to say how she felt and the response, it was how she said it, not what she said necessarily. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and she knew that wasn't appropriate. If you're trying to go and be the she's old enough to know Colin Kaepernick's story. You know what I mean? She's old enough to know that she's playing a certain game, that right now she is young enough and she's not in that position, and that they will write your ass off because this is the sports of America. You know what I mean? And with a pen, one wrong comment, we can write your ass off and never be heard from again.
That's fair.
Kaepernick, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
I mean, so for instance, let's take it off the world stage. Let's take it to the hood, right? How many dudes get caught up in the game? And it's like, how many examples do you need to see that everybody in the game end up dead or in prison?
Yeah.
How many chicks end up single mothers, despite the fact of they've seen
the
what
struggle
happens to single mothers, like the struggle.
Yeah.
Like their mama was a single mama, this, that, and the other.
Their auntie was a single mom, yeah.
And they see how, and instead of learning from what they see around them and progressing, they just repeat the same mistakes.
Repeat the same cycle.
Yeah. You know what? Human beings are interesting, and this is what I love about this book in Tapping into Psychology. I don't know what, I can't explain that. I think we're human. Our species are made to just experience some shit. It's like, you guys have kids. You guys probably tell your kids not to do some shit, knowing what the results were, but they will sometimes need to test it out for themselves.
Hey, there's a difference when
go ahead,
what you just said is that single motherhood that passes down from these generations of my mother was single and auntie and grandma and all that. Is that a brand? Does that become a brand?
That's a interesting way of looking at it.
That's one way of looking at it. But here's the thing with the kids.
Talking about branding, and if you see this brand of single motherhood and you see how the brand works and how the brand keeps working, why are you going to that brand? You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is, it's like,
think about it, people. Not you two. Think about it, folks that's going to be watching. Think about it.
So here's the thing with the kid example, right? When my son does dumb shit, right? Whole thing is he doesn't know he's doing dumb shit, and he doesn't know that Daddy's already seen it, done it, been there. I did it better than you, And so when I'm talking about it to him, it's theoretical. Mm-hmm. All right, he's not seeing it. Unlike like the single mother thing, it's not theoretical. You see it around you all the time.
You see it.
So it's just like, it's understandable when you make a mistake, when it's like, in the sense of like a child being spoke to and say, hey, don't touch that, that's hot. Don't touch that, that's hot. Because the fact that it's still theoretical in that child's mind. They don't know it's a reality or a possibility until they see somebody else get burned.
Yeah.
All right. And if they don't see somebody else get burned and then they go and do it themselves and they get burned. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how that works, or that's how it should work. Is the fact of like, you see someone else get burned, you say, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you see so many people who, so for instance, in the NBA, NFL, you'll see so many young guys go in there, and they know that they've seen plenty of guys get hurt and their career is over. They've seen plenty of guys go in there and they're 30, 40 years old and they've been in the game and now they're filing bankruptcy because they blew all their money. And those guys go in there and do the same thing the guys before them did.
It just goes to show you that we're just, I don't know, man. It just feels like we're not lemmings?
We're lemmings?
Yeah.
Just jumping off the cliff to our death?
Lemmings?
Yeah, it's just like we just need that. We're like, I don't know, despite, not all of us, it doesn't take many of us to realize like, oh, Schubert did this correctly. I'm going to follow his path. Or Kelvin did this incorrectly. I'm not going to, like, for many of us, despite all of the advisors, despite all of the experience that is told to us, we're still on that whole, I'm still going to go my path and got to experience the shit myself.
Yeah. I'm not going to make those same mistakes, but I got to do it myself.
Yeah. Even though we know what the outcome is going to look like.
Like, okay.
So like for Miss Sha'Carri Richardson, I get it. Like there's so many diva athletes that she could look at and say, look, we seen your attitude, we seen these behaviors with other athletes, male and female, and look at what it's gotten them. You don't want to do it, but she's looking like it like, but that's not me. We all have encountered that at some point, that whole it's not me, when in all reality is like you're not that unique. You will fall into this trap.
You will fall into this trap.
Yeah.
And
you are not
like,
special.
It would be because she wouldn't have that same, if she was winning, I don't think she would be talking in that same.
I think it would be worse if she was winning, bro.
Would be.
Yeah. You don't think so?
I think she was. I think she was in defense mode from the beginning. You got to remember. Did you hear her talk before she lost? She wasn't talk. She still was her, but she wasn't talking like that. You know what I mean?
But could you excuse it? Because even you identified it was from a place of hurt.
When she broke the record at LSU, she wasn't talking like that. Like, yeah, I'm the fastest bitch. Fuck y'all. She wasn't talking like that.
That's
she wasn't talking like that. She was talking like, yes, I train hard and I congratulate everybody else. And she was talking like it was humble. You know what I mean? From a place of fuck y'all, haha, I'm faster than you bitches. It wasn't like that. You know what I mean? She was hurt. Shit. And hurt people hurt people. You know how I go.
But in this question, I just feel like with her, I think it's just a matter of youth. If she was acting like this in her mid to late 20s, nah, they'll,
But.
Yes, Mr. Smith.
Biles was young when she first went to the Olympics. Everybody is a young Olympian. I'm just saying.
All right, I concede to that.
So we can't just say we're going to chalk it up to youth, bruh.
Okay, you're right.
That's her character.
Yeah.
That's what you chalk it to. Her character. Her personal character. Because everybody that's in the Olympics is young. Motherfuckers be in there 15, 17. What do you mean?
Yeah. Nah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Katie Ledecky is like, what, 20, 17, 19? How old is Katie Ledecky? Out there swimming and shit.
I don't know. She's young as shit, though.
Yeah, she's young as hell. 15, something like that. So
something like that.
Are we going to now use youth as an excuse for our actions? No, we're not going to.
Yeah.
Because we know we have youth who are considered masters at 9 years old to be able to play a piano. But we don't charge it to the, you know what I mean? We're not going to start using the age as an excuse for her. It was her actions, you know what I mean? You were hurt and you didn't know how to handle that. You're not, first of all, like I know, if you're not used to losing something, you know what I mean? If you're not, and you've never really been losing, to get that first loss that's a lot for you. You know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about winning at the game of life. And all of a sudden you start taking losses. You're like, what the fuck? I ain't just talking about in sports. You know what I mean? If you're used to getting A's and all of a sudden you get a C, you're like, what? You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're ready to commit suicide if you're a certain student. You know what I mean? I don't get C's. I only get A's. I'm a 4.0 student. 4.3, 4.5. You know what I mean? So.
Not me. I shot for average, bro. It's like, nah.
And right. You got those.
That way you never disappointed in life.
Bye, baby. Shit. I got a B. Oh, I'm happy as hell I got a B. I thought I was going to get a C.
Oh, man. All right. My next question. So in chapter 5.6, the author cite blame like credit always find a home when discussing the irrational flight's decision between JFK versus EWR. Why do people, by and large, take discomfort with the unknown? I don't know. Just to give a recap on that story. So the author gave a description of a situation where a secretary is booking business for their boss. Essentially, it would be more convenient for the boss to fly in Newark EWR versus to JFK, but because EWR is unknown, they rather deal with the JFK, despite all of the hassles that might come with JFK, and like with EWR is unknown. So like if something goes wrong, the secretary will look at it like, well, I will be to blame for this, versus to like, I'm trying to give you the most optimal. So like, why do we have a hard time with making decisions about the unknown?
It boils down to risk. At the end of the day, there's always going to be a risk. The less risk there is, the safer and the more stable and secure we feel. So the whole thing is, we will give up. We will give up. What's the word I'm looking for? Possibilities for stability and security. So with the unknown, there's multiple possibilities, but you don't know which possibility you'll get. So it's like saying, if I play Russian roulette, there's I think 31 numbers on there. There's like 30, 40, 50 numbers. I forget what the number of spots there are. And then you have red and black, or the two different colors, right? So the whole thing is, you have quite a number of possibilities. But to limit my possibilities, I would rather either go red or go black. So now I'm at a 50-50. You see what I'm saying? So I'm limited. The more I limit my possibilities, the less risk there is. And people prefer stability, security, and less risk than, more possibilities. That is also the mindset of the average person. That's why most people go and get a job, because of the job, there's stability, security. I go to my job, it comes with pension, it comes with workman's comp, it comes with insurance, this, that, and the other. And if anything happens, I can get unemployment until I get my next job. Versus the entrepreneur, there's no net for an option. There is no unemployment, there's no social security, there's no benefits whatsoever, other than the possibility of what money that the entrepreneur can make. So it takes a different type of mindset to handle risk versus stability and security.
I like that. Sense? It takes a different type of mindset to handle.
Telling you, whatchamacallit. I'm gonna talk to you offline, Black Zeus, because you keep making me sound like you want to hurt yourself. But it's roulette and Russian roulette are not the same thing, man. You're bringing up Russian roulette like you want to play the game or something.
My man said we're gonna have an intervention after this.
He said it a few weeks ago.
I meant to say
the roulette is the black and red one.
Yes, you're right. Like you're right. I apologize.
He talks about roulette, right. But he says the Russian part in
the gun. I'm sorry. My bad.
And that's all I'm like, yo.
My bad. It's force of habit. Sorry.
He want to hit the gun, spin it. We take 4 paces. Pow! Let's see what happens, baby. And I know it's from the black hammer in the table. I just wanted to make sure that
he's all right.
I just wanted to make sure that he was all right.
Oh man,
talking about
no,
something.
I speak to my therapist every Wednesday, bro. We're good.
I think you hit that on the head though, because I would link it to this. Cash was going out with his wife a few weeks ago to a spot that you had already been to, right? And
no, it's not a spot I've been to, but I'm familiar.
Oh, but a spot that that you were familiar with.
Yeah,
you're able to give him some. To Cash, it was the unknown, but he had, from other people, got a little bit of, it's going to be that kind of spot. So if Cash and his wife was out and they were just randomly going somewhere, they could look at a place and they would be like, want to stop there, baby? I don't know. It looks kind of like this. It looks kind of like that. Or you want to stop here, baby? Oh, that looks like it's fancier. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's still the unknown. But if somebody told Cash, like, I've been there before, he's more willing to go there. You know what I mean? The unknown is just that. It's an X. It's an X factor. You know what I mean? Most people want to know what they're getting as opposed to not knowing what they're getting. You know what I mean? If I'm going on
I didn't tell him what that deal was going to look like.
Yeah. Well, that's one. But if I'm going on a blind date, I don't want it to be a blind date. I want to know what she looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't want it to be a true blind date where I've never seen you before, because that's not going to work for me in my age. Like, I need to, because you know what I mean? Okay, before I incriminate, so that ain't going to work. I need to know how you look before I'm doing a blind date. So a lot of the unknown becomes the scary part. You know what I mean? Because you're not sure what you're going to get. So it's easy to go, become locked into brand loyalty, because you're like, well, this company makes this. It was one thing that he said in this shit what did he say? Pepsi when Coke's not available.
Oh, try Pepsi.
Try Pepsi when
yeah, that was a slogan. Yeah. I
like
remember
try
that.
Pepsi when Coke's not available.
Yeah.
You know, saying to the people that I know you always drink Coke, but if you don't have Coke, you could try this other thing. But you know, brand loyalty, like my grandmother, she's a Coke person. She passed away, but she was a Coke person. She's not a person that would try Pepsi. You give her Pepsi, she smacked that shit out your hand.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Listen, I know somebody that's like that.
Yeah, you gotta understand though. She's been drinking Coke since it had Coke in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So you can't offer her because she literally would smack that shit out your hand. Like, you know, I don't drink that. Don't. What the fuck are you doing? Trying to poison me? Type shit. Like get angry at you.
Damn, you don't tell grandma like, yo, it's almost like the same product.
No, it's not.
I don't want to hear it's the same product.
It's really not. It's really not.
The same.
They're not the same.
They're both a cola in that respect.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you like this: C&C cola is not like a Coca-Cola, is it?
I don't drink soda, so I don't even know.
Man, you know a C&C cola is not like a Coca-Cola though.
No, you're right. I assume so, right. But I haven't drank soda since I was like 7. My mom cut me off.
Is pasteurized orange juice the same as freshly squeezed orange juice?
Yeah, that's a good example. No.
That helps you better, right?
Yeah,
it's not the same. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's orange juice, but it don't
hit not the same. Yeah, it don't hit the same.
You know what I mean? And when you actually have freshly squeezed orange, you're like, oh shit, this is different. Because you can taste the difference. You know what I mean? Kind of like this whole water thing where it's like people have gotten like if you're a water drinker, you know how water tastes.
Oh, that's yes.
I like between the alkaline water, or I like the difference between this water with more electrolytes, or I like this plain water, or if I drink this tap water from East Orange, it's not the same tap water from Maplewood, it's not the same tap water from North. They all got a different taste to them. And if you drink water, you do know it. You know, you're like, I can taste the difference. Like, how you can taste the difference? It just tastes like water. That's because you always drink soda, so you don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I always drink water, so I do know. So, yeah, I think the unknown, but the unknown is always scary. You know what I mean? It's just that.
But then why is it that we as human beings, and I'm just going to take it from a financial route. So, like, a lot of times what I see is we become envious of people who take those unknown risks and manage to accumulate wealth from those unknown risks when we ourselves are not willing to take those unknown risks. It's just like, why do we then become jealous or spread or hate on those who take those risks, who manage to benefit from that?
So somebody,
because it's the lottery.
Yeah,
the whole thing is the fact of the risk. You know, it's just like playing roulette. You know, that person said 23 black, and the chances that it will land on 23 black is astronomical. But then it lands on 23 black, you're like, oh shit, and you're like, I wish I did that. But you also know.
Yeah.
But why does that translate to hate though? Like, you see people who hate on those individuals. Like, all right, that's gambling. But like, let's take people who say, I studied Bitcoin from its infancy. I just took a educated guess on the trajectory of Bitcoin, and now they're fucking multimillionaires. I see a bunch of people calling those people, lucky, rather than saying like, yo, they were sound investors.
It was both. It was both though. It was luck with the investing. You know what I mean? Yeah. You gotta understand this. It's kind of like what Black Zeus just said. Okay, if I take $20 and I go play the Mega Millions, you know what I mean, and I win, you're like, well, how the hell Smith get lucky like that? But you don't even want to take your $20 and try it.
Exactly. Like, so why didn't you want to take your 20 and try it? Yeah.
It was just $20. It was a risk that I took. $20 I felt $20 didn't cost. But you're like, you thought it was a waste. That's the difference. Risk versus waste. You thought it was a waste. I thought it was a risk. I took the risk. You thought I ain't gonna waste my money. That's the difference right there, I think.
And that's what I was about to say, is that the whole thing is, the difference is the person who did make the risk think they're making an intelligent, smart decision. Exactly. While the person who did take the risk, they're thinking they're making a fool's decision. So when the person who did not take the risk looks at the other one who did and think, oh, this person's a fool, and then it pans out for him, they're like, they feel gypped but I made the smart decision. How come this person who made the foolish decision why did it work out for them?
And I like the roulette story, Black Zeus, because you're right. If you stand there, you put it on Black 23, and I'm standing there, and you're like, yo, I'm telling you, this gonna come out. And I'm standing there, and you hit it. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you because you hit it, and because I was scared to put my money up there.
Yeah, and the whole thing
that's what that becomes. I'm mad because he was willing to take the risk, and he told me to take the risk with him, but I was like, I was too scared. I don't want to take the risk. I thought
the thing is, it seems that in your mind, it's going to come off that I was rewarded for what you deem to be a foolish decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. You're going to think, how is it that you're not being rewarded for an intelligent decision, but I'm being rewarded for a foolish one?
Yeah. I do all the right things. I keep my money in the bank.
Yes, I pay my bills. I go to work.
He invests his money. Why is he investing? And he's getting more money because he like to take that risk, and you just like to keep yours nice and safe and gain 1 cent on a dollar.
Yeah.
1 cent on 100.
That's why I always argue with people that are mad at capitalism or mad at big corporations. I'm like, well, then you start your own business. You decided to go get a job. You decided to be on the lower end of the totem pole. You didn't want to take the risk. You know what I mean? So why should you be mad at somebody who started a business, and the business, they took all the L's, they took all the work, the blood, the sweat, the toil, the chances, and it became Jeff Bezos, and now you mad that Jeff Bezos has all this money, but you didn't do what Jeff Bezos did.
You didn't want to take that risk. And that comes in with the, like that brand, like what did he say? What TV did he say? That shit had me dying. He said, like, it's like buying a Samsung and a Wang Wu.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's like buying a Wang Wu TV. Like the Wang Wu is like 200 pounds cheaper.
Yeah.
They say scared money doesn't make no money, right? So there you go.
Yeah, scared money don't make none. But I don't.
It's like we always need a multitude of people to verify something before we even go into it, and by then it's too late. Like,
it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is the fact of here's the thing.
Depending on what it is, like if it's a restaurant that all of a sudden gets a bunch of reviews, it's never too late to go to the restaurant. But I'm just thinking financially, it's just like when it comes to
like I said, it's not about getting the best. It's just making sure you don't get the worst result.
Yeah.
Most people, it's not about it's not about maximizing their winnings. It's about minimizing their losses.
Yeah.
And if your mindset is minimize my losses, then you end up getting the cheapest tickets at the Giants game. And it's that's petty. That's petty. I'm sorry. That was petty.
Bruh. Don't even get me started on that shit.
Hey, Cash, you was at the Giants game?
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Henry, bro.
Y'all was all the way at the top on the thing, right?
Yeah.
And y'all was on the side. I saw y'all over there.
Yeah, I did that.
That's why he's sniffling now from the nosebleed.
You could have got tickets with us, Cash. We had some good tickets, man. We was like midfield, but we were still up, but we was midfield so we could see everything and shit. It was pretty cool. Cash said, don't get me started.
Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. Go ahead, Black Zeus, with your petty jab.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm sorry, I had to do it. My bad. But I'm just saying, the fact of like, if you are so focused on minimizing your losses and not maximizing your winnings, don't be mad. You get the end result of what you put in. Like that's the thing. It's just what it is. You got to be in it to win it.
Yeah. All right, so let's transition to Mr. Smith with his long ass questions. His essay.
He be doing that on purpose.
Yeah. Now I like it though because he prefaces, he sets his questions up relatively well. So it turns out that the more is spent on female beauty than on education, it seems like that a significant part of what you're doing when you spend 2 hours on self-grooming is self-administrating a confidence placebo to produce emotions that you can't generate through a conscious act or will. do you agree or disagree with this statement?
Yeah, so he was talking about females basically spending trillions of dollars. We spend more money on beauty than we do on education, and saying that a lot of it is for the female to boost their own self-confidence. And I've had this conversation with you all before, and I think I've had it with my listening audience. And I said, the eyelashes and the extra packed on makeup and the weave down to your calves. Who are you doing that for? You know what I mean?
I'm doing it for myself.
And it seems like, well, he talked about part of it is a self-confidence placebo for females because they don't love themselves, that they think that they have to put this on for themselves. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, I'm starting to see that now because I told you all before, guys don't like this shit. We don't like you looking like a fucking Muppet. You know what I mean? I don't want you looking like the fucking the chick from Gremlins and shit with them eyelashes like that. I don't like that look with the pink. I don't like that. To each his own. You can look how you want to look, but at the end of the day, I think that the females are doing that to for their own self-confidence. You know what I mean? I'm looking at Cash's wife and I say, oh, she looks like this. So if Joanna looks like this, I have to look like this because that's how you get a man. And then this next girl said, you got to look like this because that's how you get a man. All right. I have to look like Black Zeus's wife because that's how you get a man. That's how you get a man. You know what I mean? So a lot of this becomes where it's not even about the market of the female. She's marketing what she thinks other people want, but I still think she's doing it to build her own self-confidence for whatever reason, not understanding truly what the man wants.
I think what's interesting about that description or that scenario is you take women who have had a decent moderate amount of success, and that becomes the image that gets often sold. So you take the Cardi B's with the silicone implants and stuff like that, and now you got every chick out here with the BBLs, the Brazilian butt lifts, and the breasts and stuff like that. And then, like, look, if Cardi B is being as ratchet as she is, if she's having some level of success in the dating market, then this is what all men must appreciate. And I think that's I think for some women, it's a confidence booster for themselves, but it's just like at the end of the day, that's their version of peacocking. It's just the makeup, the eyelashes, the everything else that's fake. That's their version of peacocking. So I kind of agree with it. It's just like, but it was shocking to hear that, though, to hear the amount of money that is spent on beauty supplies versus to education. I was dumbfounded by that because I want to know, was that a global?
You know why you dumbfounded? Because you hear so many people being in debt for education, but you don't hear them being in debt for beauty.
Exactly.
How many people?
They're in debt. They're in debt for education because their money is going towards their beauty. They're not paying that. They're not paying that loan because they're paying for them cosmetics.
Paying for the cosmetics.
But this goes back to my question from last week about the signaling thing, where it's just like signaling seems to be more important than actually having character or content. It's like, and that is what I was saying was last week was like where that is, to me, seems problematic. So you got these females that will look and say, so let's go back to Smith's example. He says, all right, I see Black Zeus's wife is married to him, so let me look at Black Zeus's wife. And if the whole thing is a female, then my wife, they wouldn't get that image of like, BBLs and makeup and this. Like my wife is real, plain Jane. If somebody would have asked me why I got with my wife, or anybody sees me with my wife, they would see the fact of how well she take care of me. You know what I mean? Like how well, she keeps the home, how well she, feeds me, how well she makes sure that, when I need something taken care of, she take care of it. Like she's my secretary, she's my chef, she's my cook, she's my personal assistant. Like, and that, you can't buy that. You can't buy that at the corner store. You see what I'm saying?
But how do you signal that? How do you market that?
How do you market that? Come to my home. See how happy I am.
But
see how happy my wife is.
But the thing is, you're not broadcasting that to the world. Like that's the thing. It's just like,
I am broadcasting it to the world. Every time you see me hold my wife's hand when we walk together, every time you see me joke about things with my wife, every time you hear me mention my wife.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that.
No, because you're saying his platform is not as large as that. All right, I get that, but I'm gonna say this. Then, what are the females looking for? Because these platforms exist out there. Black Zeus,
there's some
same platform Black Zeus is on exist out there, but you want to follow a Cardi B platform.
Because here's the thing.
That's what you want to. That's what you're choosing to follow that platform.
Because all right, here's the thing. The reason for that is
you want to follow Megan Thee Stallion's platform. You ain't following Lauryn Hill platform now.
When you look at the, when you look at
kids and she divorced, I'm just
because when you look at the top 10% of men that is often perpetuated out in society, you could probably say top 1%, but for the sake of this conversation, you take the top 10% of men that is perpetuated in society, and you look at their wives. A lot of time, their wives look like these Model S type of chicks. So it's just like for a lot of women, they feel compelled to,
Barack Obama.
Michelle Obama's on point.
She is on point, but that's not what makes her Michelle Obama.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I'm about to say they're not aspiring to be Michelle Obama.
No, but here's the thing.
That's my point.
But there was one of the greatest men of all time, though.
No, you're right. But here's the thing. There was an interview with Michelle Obama, and she was asked the question: if you were to have a life, who would you emulate? Like who life would you want to be? Mm-hmm. She didn't name a fellow politician, female politician. She didn't name a notable woman in the sciences. She didn't name a prominent woman in, I don't know, something that's non-beauty related. She named Beyonce. That was who she said she put out there. You look at Maxine Waters empowering Megan Thee Stallion. It's just like the women that are in these positions that you might say, well, they're kind of plain Jane, but they're still envious of those women who look like the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallion. Like they're marketing those women. They're advertising those women.
Mm-hmm. No, not for nothing. There's an understandable level at the very beginning. So remember in the book that he mentioned about buying a car. If a car just had really great mileage as far as gas, and it was great on as far as environmental, this, that, and the other, but it looked hideous, nobody would buy that car. All right, we have to have an aesthetic attraction to that car. So there has to be an aesthetic attraction to that car. But the whole thing is, if we have an aesthetic attraction to a car, but it performs like shit, we're still going to be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So the aesthetics opens the door for you, but it's the features that keep you in there. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it doesn't. It makes a lot of sense for us.
So the whole thing is, when you look at a Beyonce, I ain't mad for her picking Beyonce. Beyonce has the aesthetic, but also Beyonce, is a hardworking, very successful young lady, and she carries herself with grace and respect. She doesn't carry herself like a Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion. She doesn't carry herself. She doesn't carry herself like an OnlyFans chick.
But you could also say her music have been problematic for some. Like my wife despised the message of when she was promoting single ladies, and meanwhile she was fully married to Jay-Z.
My messaging is different.
Hold on, time out. Isn't the single lady song? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I remember which one you're talking about. Yeah. But, and listen, I'm not gonna say all her messages are gonna be great and perfect. I mean, I'm not gonna say all of them gonna be great and perfect. Some of it is marketing, some of it is selling. But at the same token, she's not saying my value is in my pussy.
Yeah. And she had talked about the single ladies in her defense. It's the reason why Jay say, y'all want to hear Jay sound like the old Jay by my first album because I don't sell drugs no more. Beyonce did the single ladies, but that was a Target thing. I wanted to get back to what you said about the car and the aesthetics, because we were talking about this, and there's a reason that you and your wife didn't want to go with the Kia, because the name was still Kia.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Brand is what it is. And that's why I wanted to say that car thing, because we were talking about the car and the Kia Telluride, which is as Black Zeus just said,
saw one the other day.
Got all the aesthetics, got all the features, got all the bells and whistles, but the name says no.
I will say this though, there was a Kia. They changed their logo, so
they did change their logo. But does that change your mind?
No, it did not change my mind yet.
Okay, exactly. Come on,
it did not. But I might be coming around in the
You're
next.
still like it's a Kia. See, you're so into the brand. You're like, that's a Kia. I can't get a Kia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Branding is everything. Even though it's a great deal, 100,000, 10 years, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. Whole car.
But there's also, but it's also going back to the Coke and Pepsi thing. Is the fact that if you've always been a Coke, Coke or no, let's go to what he said in the.
I'm about to say he wasn't a truck driver like that.
No. Let's go back to the example he gave about McDonald's. Why McDonald's will always be around. Thank God, because my stocks is looking good. He said that no matter what McDonald's you go to across the United States, across the world, a Big Mac is going to taste like a Big Mac. The French fries are always going to.
Only across the states. I'm sorry.
For the most part, there's not going to be much variation. You have a line of trust with McDonald's because you've had their product a number of times. So the whole thing is Kia is the rookie on the field right now. While the veterans are Nissan, are Acura, Mercedes, BMW. People are familiar with these products because they've been around for a long time and they've been time tested. Kia is still relatively young. Just like it's kind of like when he was talking about this, I was thinking about my LGs, right? Like right now, I have a number of LG products like headphones and everything, like the ones that I'm wearing now. And when LG first came out, I was skeptical about LG. I've always been a Sony dude. You know what I mean? And now it's like now that LG's been a little bit more time tested, I buy more LG products. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a total sense. With the test of time, I think Kia has proven itself. Look, Kia's come a long way. I just think, to your point, I'm not because I've had a Ford, I had a Jeep, so I've had different other brand models. I just think that I don't know. Kia's is just
like Black Zeus was just saying, where Nissan and all those are brand names, which names you're familiar with. All of them didn't have a SUV though. You know what I mean? SUVs are still fairly new, and Kia got one of those, and they got one of the best ones and one of the better ones, but people still won't go with that name right now. Now understand, in fucking Asian countries, they buying the shit out this Kia. You understand?
Yeah.
That's like a fucking BMW over this motherfucker now. You know what I mean? Like people are really buying into it, leaning into it because Kia started over there. So you know what I mean? It's like I don't know if you all saw the car, the North Star, the Polestar.
Oh, the electric car.
It's white.
Yeah, that shit looks fly. It looks very futuristic.
But like that, it's like, okay, I don't know who the fuck makes this motherfucker. I'm trying to find out who makes it. Like, who makes this? Like, how good is this car? I look at it like that. Like, how good is this car? It's not a Cadillac. It's not a Tesla. It's not a Chevy. It's not a BMW. It's not who? You know what I mean? Where did this car come from?
It looks fly as shit, though.
But we also know this, that one of these car companies owns that. You know what I mean? Because you don't just start a new car company like that.
Yeah.
One of these other car companies that own it. So it's just about finding that out.
Yeah, they're part of the whole electric brand. Yeah, they're gonna be around. It's I think they're partnering with Volvo.
And you said it's called North Star?
Polestar. Yeah, their style is nice.
Yeah, the style is nice.
Yeah, the style is nice. I think Volvo might own them.
It looked like Volvo could own them.
Yeah. But but back to the question and stuff. I just think that women just realize that this is their form of peacocking, even despite whether or not it might not have a high success rate and is not what men typically want. They look at the very few women that are often promoted, and they see the type of men that they have that tends to be in the top 10%, and they're like, well, they put two and two together. They're just like, if these are the type of men that often fall for these type of women, then I need to emulate that.
And I think you're right with the peacocking, because I think it does produce that emotion.
Yeah.
You know, for them to go through that conscious act of will to be able to say, hey, Black Zeus, this is me as me. This is who I am. You know what I mean? And be confident that I got to put on this mask that grins and lies, like Paul Laurence Dunbar said.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so confident about myself. I got to send my representative in there. I can't send me. I'm not confident in me. I'm confident in his representative that looks something like me, but it's more of an act. And maybe if this works out, Black Zeus, you'll get to know the real me.
And it's funny you should say that, because even Beyonce, if you ever seen pictures of Beyonce without any makeup, hair, all of that stuff, she looks really plain Jane. Even Beyonce. Even Beyonce says that when she's on stage, she's not Beyonce Knowles, she's Sasha Fierce. So she puts on her representative too. Once she's put on that hair and makeup,
that confidence placebo.
That confidence kicks up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, last question. According to chapter 4, we are not in full control of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. I do remember that, and I did highlight this. Many companies know this and use it to influence us. Knowing that we are not in full control, is it right to hold people completely responsible for their actions? And this is exactly piggybacking off of our discussion last week. How I said, Apple, because we were talking about signaling again. And I was saying, like, a lot of times you got to realize, like, these signaling, the people who are signaling are the people who are, masters of understanding branding, masters of understanding marketing, masters of understanding human psychology. And when we got to that point, I was just like, this is exactly what I was talking about. Do you hold people should people still have full responsibility for their action? Yes, because ultimately at the end of the day, you still have to make a conscious decision. But I don't fault for people for initially being drawn to the actions that they typically will make just based on how certain things are promoted or marketed to them.
So it's funny. I just finished watching a movie called Braven. It was a movie with
that Samoan dude, right?
Why is Braven?
The dude from Aquaman.
I seen that.
There's a scene where his father has Alzheimer's. He goes to a local bar, and he mistakes some woman for his wife.
Yeah.
And
a fight breaks out.
A fight breaks out. Dude starts fucking him up, and I'm like, yo, y'all beating up an old man? Like, really? I get it. Like, he just grabbed up on some strange woman, but I don't know if I'd whoop his ass. But the whole thing is that when we look at people's behavior and their response to things, they don't stop and think about why their response is what their response is, or how they should respond to things, And I'm just wondering, it's like, so if you ask most people, why did you pick Coke over Pepsi? Why did you buy Poland Springs over Dasani? Most people want to be able to tell you. It's like funny. Me and my sister went out for drinks the other day, and after drinks we went for coffee, and she was like, "Well, I know you don't like McDonald's coffee, so I'll stop. I'll get McDonald's for myself, and I'll get Dunkin' Donuts for you." And I'm just like, "No, I'm good. We can get McDonald's coffee. It's still coffee. I'm not gonna be like, oh, turn my nose up at McDonald's coffee. It's coffee, But in her mind, she thought that because I would be brand loyal to Dunkin' Donuts, that she was going to go out of her way to drive to McDonald's and then drive to Dunkin' Donuts. So it's just like, when you really think about the way that people move, I don't know if people are really making conscious decisions, or they're just like going with what they know, or going what they've kind of been programmed to do. Does that make any sense?
Nah, it makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm kind of it's kind of made me have to second guess how I view people when I look at how they spend their money. Even granted personally, you know, I shop at the clearance section at every clothing store I go to. You know, even if I go to a sporting goods store, this, that, and the other, I will go to former mills and get shit off the irregular rack and this, that, and that. Because to me, clothes is clothes. You know, the only thing I'm gonna spend money on are a quality pair of sneakers, and I spend time, doing research into like what shoe's gonna fit my foot the right way and all this, that, and the other. Most people don't do that. Most people don't do that. And I'm just like, is it their fault that they don't do that, or is it just is it their fault because they're being lazy, or is it simple and convenient?
I think it's simple and convenient.
Yeah, so that's what was going through my mind at the time I was asking the question.
I think it's,
and it also goes into a higher level of like, when we think about social things such as, these, like I said, these single mothers, these girls making these decisions on like, oh, but I love him, and I think he'll be good. It'll be fine if he gets me pregnant, should we hold them responsible for their decision making if they're not really 100% in control?
Yeah, but like your son, the brand loyalty becomes from families that are passed down also. So that's how part of it we don't control, because we pass down certain things, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Certain families, if you're not in a certain family, then you don't get that certain brand, you know what I mean? So you might think that this is the better, let's say Hunts and Heinz, right? And you might think that this one is better ketchup than Heinz. You might say Heinz is better than. Some people say Heinz is thicker, Hunts is too watery. Some people say Hunts is sweeter, and Heinz is, you know what I mean? So I I like Heinz personally.
I do too.
My kids in turn like Heinz. So when they grow up and have kids, their kids will probably be Heinz. You know what I mean? Those brands that's passed down through the family because they like the certain taste of it. You know what I mean? And they've become accustomed to that taste. And it's kind of like if you go out and you get ketchup from a different place, you can tell when your ketchup is not right. Same way you can tell when your mayo is not right. Like if you get mayonnaise just from, if it's not Hellmann's. Like, don't give me no fucking Miracle Whip. I don't do a salad dressing on my sandwich. It's gonna fuck up my sandwich. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Damn.
You don't mess up my turkey and cheese. You don't mess up my turkey and cheese, lettuce, tomato, oil, and vinegar with a little bit of onions, oregano. You don't mess that up ever. You don't mess that up. You know what I mean? I got a perfect sandwich shop that makes it the great way, but you don't mess up the goddamn sandwiches, all right? So at any rate,
you get a sandwich with Smith.
Yeah, I get you. I take you to a sandwich spot. You be like, yo, where the fuck you find this sandwich spot at, man? I ain't really like sandwiches, but god damn it, I like this sandwich. So I think it becomes like that, and we become branded based off of things from our family. You know what I mean? I was trying to buy my son some sneakers, and for the first few years, my son like, look, man, I don't like what you trying to buy me, daddy. I want these. I want this light up shit with Batman on it. I want this shit Spider-Man. Fuck them Jordans. Fuck them Nikes. Fuck all that shit you trying to get me. I like what I like. So guess what my son got? My son got what he liked. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to brand him into anything. You know what I mean? Like, well, this is all we wear. This is the only brand that we wear. No, you can wear whatever the fuck you want to wear. Whatever you're comfortable with wearing and makes you feel comfortable and happy when you put it on, you can wear that. You know what I mean? And my daughter's the same way. I'm like, you don't like these? She like, nah, I don't like those, daddy. And I have to tell him, I'm like, but look at these. These are nice as hell. Not the fact that they cost $180. Oh, you just like these $40 joints here? But I like them. Cool. I get it. Get what you want. You know what I mean? And they don't get caught up into with the, now it's not, I mean, I don't know if they get to that age where they become to, well, what does Black Zeus have? What does Cash have? Because I have to wear what they have because we're friends and I have to have what they're having. You know what I mean? I'm not raising them to be like that. So I don't know if they ever be like that, but I don't know. But at the end of the day, a lot of that shit just becomes from what we pass down. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's true. That's a good that's a good point in regards of how much family pass down those sort of traditional consumption material consumption. Yeah.
My grandmother loved ivory soap. I don't use ivory soap. I hate ivory soap. My grandmother loved ivory soap. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I can smell ivory in my nose when I talk about ivory soap because we use it that much. But I don't like that. It was never. Ivory soap's thing was 99.99%. Kind of like you get your body clean type shit. But that makes my particular body, it makes me more ashy when I come out with that soap. That soap wasn't good for my skin. You know what I mean? But it was something that my grandmother. Now, I understand that my grandmother was 100 when she died, so this was something that she grew up on. You know what I mean? 100 years ago. Ivory soap when they had this shit in boxes and shit, not even little bars. But
so ivory smell is rocking though. I love the smell of ivory soap.
You like the smell?
I do. I do like the smell of ivory soap.
I don't like that smell because it stunted my, it was part of my upbringing. But it's like my grandmother she was a KFC eater. You know what I mean? Kentucky Fried Chicken is some down south shit. They swear by the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I'm like,
yeah, none of that churches shit.
It's too fucking like. I don't know if you all had Kentucky Fried Chicken, but it's too like sloppy, too soggy for me. You know what I mean?
I think because she grew up in a time where the brand had good, the quality of the brand was good. I think.
Not for nothing. If you take McDonald's French fries back in the 80s, versus McDonald's French fries now,
that drop off is significant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It is significant.
Yeah,
So I think that plays into it too, though.
Yeah, is that.
I mean, listen, I feel you. Like, I mean, we don't have any brand loyalty necessarily in my household. Except, in this house, we are Giants fans. And if you're not a Giant fan, you will get burned at the stake.
You got brand loyalty. I got one question for you. What kind of detergent do you use?
Whatever's on sale.
Wash and dry.
Whatever's on sale that doesn't have any, color, what do you call it? Scents or like, how like, color.
Yeah.
It's like the free one that's like,
shit, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have any scent to it. Unscented.
Unscented.
No dye, no scent, none of that shit. Yeah. Whatever's on sale, You
got brand loyalty to something.
Nah.
I be a
when I think about my whole house, like my TV is Samsung, my surround system is Sonos, my laptop is Acer, my headphones are LG. My sneakers are New Balance, Brooks. I can't do Nikes except for the Pegasus.
Got brand loyalty. Knock it off.
Huh?
Now you want to get to the truth of your brand loyalty?
No, it's not brand loyalty. It's what fits my foot.
You do got. I ain't talking about for sneakers. Do you want to get to the truth of your brand loyalty? Because I was at your house one time and I know you got brand loyalty.
To what?
Jack Daniels, motherfucker.
Wow, he got you there.
He don't got me there. He don't got me there. Because you forget the Jack Daniels is just everyday shit. You forget I brought out the blue label, the Jameson blue label.
Yeah, you did, but I'm saying, but that's still
I keep the good stuff.
But that's still loyalty. That's still brand loyalty, Black Zeus. The good stuff is brand loyalty, and the everyday stuff is brand loyalty.
Like so.
You're not going to
but that's my I was about to say
get no rock and rye. You know what I mean? You gotta gotta have this JD. Gotta be you know what I mean? Like I get it. You're not gonna go get you might that like do you do Maker's Mark?
Every now and again.
Yeah, but see what I'm saying? So you're more of a brand loyalty because you'll do a maker, but you're like, I'll have that if this is what we have, but
no. It all depends on the drink. Because like certain things you can drink like so for instance, when I have my old fashioned, if I have a bourbon, I prefer Basil Hayden or what's this other one's something knobs, whatever. I can't think off the top of my head right now. But the whole thing is like, I get it. I get what you mean by that.
And you JD and Coke, right? You ain't JD and Pepsi.
No, I'm JD and Coke. Yeah, I'm definitely.
You know what I mean? It's a brand. It's a certain taste. Like, and then if you get outside of that, it's like, no, something ain't right. This ain't right.
Yeah, but
Like them
But
pants.
it's not. But here's the thing: I don't consider that brand
It's like them
loyalty.
sweatpants you put on, Black Zeus. You like this ain't right. It ain't right.
It's not. I don't even consider it brand loyalty. I consider it product loyalty. So if the minute that JD changes their product, I'm not gonna buy it anymore. So the minute that Coke changes their product, I ain't gonna buy it. Like there used to be Coke. There used to be Coke and there used to be New Coke. And they tried New Coke and it was sweeter, it was more like Pepsi. That shit took an L. So they stopped producing New Coke a number of years ago. And they went, and that's when they came back to Coke and they called it Coke Classic because of the fact of they tried this New Coke recipe and it did not work out.
I'm like, oh, why? What's this? This is too sweet.
Exactly. Yeah, so just having the brand is not enough. It's some people it's more product loyalty than it is brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, that wraps up that.
Hey, what we doing this week?